What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy J. Rue and
Kungfu.
That's right, coming at you live from Austin, Texas. And we're here today to drop some reviews on House of the Dragons, aka Dragons Say Fuck Them Kids.
The incest kids.
Incest kids.
Fuck those incest kids.
So we're going to spend the majority of the show talking about our review of House of the Dragon, season 1. And then we're going to spend a little bit of time at the end to talk a little bit about some DC news that just came out, or DC Universe news, as it's the new name going forward. So, yeah, I mean, we'll start it off. House of the Dragon, in my opinion, I think was good. It was a really good show. It was a really good show.
Okay.
I don't think it was great.
Mm-hmm.
I know you have yet to see Game of Thrones, so this is your first foray into the Westeros and the Seven Kingdoms.
Yes.
So, I want to let you go first because you know, I got a history.
All right. So overall, I enjoyed it a lot. You know, kind of going into this world. Was I expecting a lot of the shit going on? Did not expect it, but after a while, I got used to it. Like,
I told you.
I'm like, it is what it is.
I told you.
You know, I get used to it. You know, incest, killing, raping, pregnancy. It is what it is. Whatever.
Mm-hmm. Stillborns.
Yeah, all kind of crazy shit going on. What I enjoyed about it was I enjoyed the drama of it all.
Yeah.
Like just the whole inner house quarrels, other kingdoms having issues with other kingdoms. You know, simple daytime soap opera drama.
Yeah.
That's all it really is.
Yeah.
It's Young and Restless mixed with Game of Thrones type of shit. You know, you have this family here, within this family have these issues, this family here has issues, all of a sudden this person married this person, come together, have issues together, issues not, you know, all kind of
come in.
Yes. Victor come in and Jack come in and all the people come in involved and everyone picking sides, which is great, you know, because pretty much at the end of the day, it was a chess match.
Yeah, it really was.
Everyone was picking sides, but within those picking sides, all right, I'm on your side, but at the same time too, I still don't fucking trust you, so I'm gonna still hold back a little bit on what I need to do to make myself or make my family, you know, kind of like, I guess, proceed or whatever, kind of through the lineages of Game of Thrones lore and that kind of deal, just all that in general. The dragons was cool. The dragons are actually pretty bad. That one big ass fucking the one, goddamn. You got one dragon that's roaming free, that's with the younger son. You got the one fucking dragon locked up in that bitch in the cave, fucking shooting fire every goddamn where. When you got Damon singing to his ass.
That's the cannibal.
Oh.
Yeah, that dragon's they call it the cannibal.
Okay, I didn't know that shit.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, he eats other dragons. He even eats the eggs.
So it makes sense why the shit is separate in the cave. Mm-hmm. Everything is separate. Okay, that makes perfect sense now and that kind of deal. So yeah, just the whole drama of it all, and with Rhaenyra and Alicent, their little drama from not kids, but just when they got the adults and all that shit happened between both families.
When homegirl got married, that's when.
Bro, just that shit, and just they even said it. The greens versus the blacks, pretty much. that's what you have in the greens versus the blacks.
Yeah,
the kind of deal. Which, yeah. Overall, I would say I'm excited. I'm excited for season 2, especially if they name it Dance of the Dragons instead of House of the Dragons, because I'm hoping season 2 is actually the full battle.
Yeah.
The entire 10 episode is the full battle. There's no time jump. It continues from the point of season 1 up until how it ends, how it's going to end.
So I know that the showrunners are basing it off of just it because the Dance of the Dragons or House of Fire, I think it's what the book is called.
Yeah.
It's just one book. Game of Thrones is like 7 or 8 at this point, I think. I'll be honest, I've not read any of the Game of Thrones books. I bought them. I bought them all up until, obviously, we're still waiting for Mr. Martin to finish the final book. But I couldn't read them. It was just too hard. It was, and I'm not saying something for public school systems. No, actually, I'm a very strong reader. But it was just like the old English and the way that it talked and they spoke and that stuff. And it just was, I couldn't grasp it. So I was like, I'll just stick with the show. But I have them, just never read them.
So, okay, let me ask you this question. So, what was your ill moment of the season? Like you like bro, really like this the moment of any part of the show like I know you watched the first season, so it's all normal. But what part was like, okay, this is kind of
a bit much?
Yeah, to me it was the whole feet thing.
Oh yeah, homeboy with the feet.
Bro. I was like, bro.
That was a new one because that's not in Game of Thrones at all. I don't remember anybody with the feet fetish. I would say he
was going to town too, boy.
And he's like, you want some more? Like he kept doing that head nod to the feet, and then at first she started by just lifting up the dress, and
slowly,
then she turned sideways, put her feet up on the.
And he's he's like, I would do anything.
Yeah, it just went downhill.
If that's what you desire.
I know. Oh my Lord, that
right there. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. But no, I think for me, my moment just because there was anything like it in Game of Thrones that out of all the seasons. Was Rhaenyra on that final episode giving birth to her stillborn baby? Like that, dude. Like the sounds, like they didn't really ever show anything, but they did the sounds, and I was just like, oh, obviously, my wife and I was there when my babies were born, so like, none of those sounds are made anymore. Like we're sophisticated in our medical practices in childbirth. That none of those sounds are being made, but you heard like tearing skin sounds and moist sounds, and then
he said the midwife, princess,
let us help you.
Let us help you.
And she was like, no.
And all of a sudden, that baby came out just dead.
I was hard. I definitely was heartbroken because that in itself is horrible. For any parent to go through, it's very heartbreaking. But at the same time, I was just like, ooh, like I was there for my daughter being born. I saw everything. Everything from her crowning and coming out and being kissed and all that and the umbilical cord but it was just this was like it was very, very brutal in their depiction of that because even when she gave birth in the earlier episodes it wasn't like that
to the first son.
There was the scene where she took like a couple of steps and then the midwife was like my your highness, the afterbirth, and then like there was a like a sound, but that was like you're like okay, but this was a bit it was a bit much, but that was my moment. The feats thing I was like okay, because in Game of Thrones there's other stuff that you're just like the feats is kind of like
right. I was like bro really like and then you just go to town
homeboy. Well, she took off her socks.
Oh my God!
He saw. She said like this. She said like this. Oh boy. He lost his hand in there. He
lost it.
That was it. That's all he needed.
And that part was really cringe, real cringe.
Yeah.
But yeah, the childbirth was like that was intense. This is the watch.
Yeah, it was just intense.
And that was intense. I thought it was funny seeing the oldest son on his goddamn window stub, just going at it.
Oh yeah.
His mom come in like,
what do you
like, bro, what are you doing? Get down there.
I was like, and you wonder why he acts the way he acts? Whoop his ass, please. Why don't y'all whoop y'all's kid's ass?
Right?
Jesus.
He just going town in front of everybody on the damn window. This window just a ledge.
Yeah.
And then of course, literally hours after the girl's mom died, hours. Damien, you take Ramirez? Ramirez take Damien? Alright, y'all married. Go ahead, kiss, share blood. Alright, you good. You see in the background like the kid's like,
yeah,
like, alright. Like, alright. I guess it's
I mean, I think overall, I think the show was a success. I think HBO really needed this to work.
Oh yeah.
With the backlash that they had for the final season of Game of Thrones, and you'll get there. I hope you get there.
Oh yeah. So my goal now is to how long is each season? Is about what?
It's about the same length as this.
10 episodes.
About 10 episodes.
Per
Yeah.
each? Okay. Because I'm gonna start watching season 1 of Game of Thrones this month.
Yeah.
And I know they already not really announced it, but I'm guessing for season 2 is gonna be like a 2-year time. Well, actual by the time you see it, production time, yeah, but like 2 years. So by the time you see it again, I guess 2025, give or take.
I mean, it's pretty smart for HBO I guess HBO and Warner Brothers.
Brothers, yeah.
To do it that way, because that means that next year we get the Jon Snow spinoff, and then the following year we get Game of Thrones. So it's going to be a one off. So
that'd be cool. So yeah, and so I'm excited for that. So I'm gonna definitely start watching this month. That's my goal, is to watch each season. I may do a season a month.
Yeah.
For the next 8 months, just watch a whole season, 1 episode a day, and that kind of deal. Until I catch up.
It's gonna be hard. You're gonna get hooked. You're gonna be like, I gotta watch the next one.
I know.
It's gonna be hard.
I know, but
you might be able to do two seasons a month.
Yeah.
I mean, you could.
Yeah, if I wanted to,
I might get there. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, at some point, especially if I ain't doing shit, I'm off. I'm like, let's keep this bitch rolling, kind of deal. But overall, for this first season, like I said, I enjoyed it a lot. I thought the acting was amazing. They killed it with the actors. Mm-hmm. I was so happy to see Corlys back. I was so happy to see his ass back for the last episode. Even though he pretty much
the sea serpent.
Yeah. Corlys. Yeah. Actually, I told Christina next year's Halloween costume. So over the over Driftmarks, Corlys and his wife was it Rhaenys?
Yeah.
Rhaenys?
Yeah.
So, but that fucking finale. Oh my god. Mm-hmm. That shit there.
Well, before we get into the finale, let me just summarize.
Okay.
What I was my overall. Like I said, I think liked it. I think it was good. I think compared to the Game of Thrones kind of mythos, I think there were some things that were lacking. I will say that the acting was chef's kiss in this. Matt Smith,
Matt Smith killed it.
He killed it. He's an amazing actor. But something that my wife said is that, man, he's a really good actor. He's just hard to look at because he does have an odd shaped face. Like he's got very pronounced like eye socket bones. Like not even the eyebrows. It's just like these the eye socket like this. Like that shit kind of bulbouses out, and then he's kind of got like that pronounced chin. He's got the little booty right there,
and really pale.
And then obviously he's pale,
like pale.
So, because she even said this like the same thing, like because he was in Morbius, and she's like, yeah, he's just kind of just an odd looking man.
And Last Night in Soho.
Yeah, Last Night in Soho. Yeah, and like I said, and again, I'm just that's what my wife said. I didn't say that. So I'm gonna pass my blame on him. But I do agree because there were certain scenes where it was kind of hard for me to take him serious But when he did act, I was immediately like, okay, he means fucking business.
Oh yeah.
Like, I will say that I think that this was a strong first season. It was definitely what HBO needed. I do think that they need to start next season guns blazing. We need to that the first episode needs to be a battle, because I will say that was the one thing that was lacking this season. And I know it's very comparable to season 1 of Game of Thrones, because there's no just not a spoiler or anything like that, but just as a heads up, season 1 there's no fucking battles or anything like that.
Okay.
It's very cerebral, very it's kind of heartbreaking, the final episode, but and how everything works out. But it's like from season 2 on is where you start seeing more and more battles and things like that taking place. So that's what I'm hoping that they do with the next season.
That'd be cool.
Because I am looking forward to Daemon and Aemon fighting. Oh,
bro,
my Lord.
Yes.
Especially now that her little bastard kid is done.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But I think overall it was really good. For me, I think my 2 favorite scenes out of the whole show, and one happened on accident, was when Viserys went to court and sat on the Iron Throne, and he had the leprosy, and he was like struggling to get up the steps, and the crown falls off,
and Daemon
and Daemon goes to help him, and then picks up the crown and helps his brother sit down. Dude, that part like pulled on my heartstrings. I kind of got teary-eyed, because it to me it was like very resonant, even though it's a fantasy show, right? But we all have a sibling that we fucking like. It's hard for us to get along.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For whether you're older or they're older or whatever it might be. But there's, even though like your siblings, but like to me like that was just like, hey, I know I fucked up and I was gone for a while, but you're the king. At
the same time too,
and I'm here for you.
Yeah, I'm your brother. I'm your sibling. I'm like, we have our quarrels, but at the same time too, I'm your sibling.
Yeah, like I'm here to back you up. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so that whole scene was by accident. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah. So when he was like doing the whole leprosy thing and going up the stairs, the crown accidentally fell down, and so they kept rolling. No one said cut. No one said nothing. And he was gonna like bend down to grab it, so Matt Smith goes up there and does it. Like, it was just totally by accident.
Oh, okay.
And then they were like, "Okay, keep that in." So that I thought to me just in filmmaking, when stuff happens out of nowhere is where the magic happens. So that was that scene. And then when the sea serpent's brother,
yes,
when he was like, they're bastards,
yes.
And then he turned around and Viserys is like, I will have your tongue for that. And then swoop, boop, 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 boop. Daemon, as cool, calm, and collect as anybody could be, he says he can keep his tongue. Oh my, dude, that was by far my that was my tie. Those 2 scenes are tied for me for favorite scenes out of the whole season, and that was. Oh man, that was amazing.
That shit was awesome. That shit was fucking cool as shit. He's like, whatever. and then
the Kingsguard pulls out their swords like they're gonna arrest Daemon, and then the king and Viserys is like, fuck no, man, my brother. Hell no, he's gonna talk like that to my daughter. I was gonna cut his tongue out anyways. I was gonna hobble and drool all the way over there, but it was gonna be done no matter what.
Then all of a sudden, you see Rhaenys tell Corlys, yeah, your brother had his head chopped off by Daemon.
Oh, I know.
He's like,
where's Daemon now?
With that point, also she was like, yeah, your brother called the king's grandchild bastards. Of course, like, yeah, we have that, like, we say like a pride, like we kind of strong head, whatever. He said some kind of, yeah, that's what we do, kind of deal.
He's like,
he wasn't even mad about it. He was like, yeah,
well, that we know of, because he's, despite him wanting the throne, really, because that's what he was trying to do, right?
Yeah.
He was trying to play the Game of Thrones, right, and get his family, whether it be his wife or their children, and somehow, way, shape, or form in that throne, on that Iron Throne,
and it didn't work out.
And it didn't work out. So, but you never saw him like really blow up or anything like that.
Yeah.
So,
and he was like, I'm done. He's like, at this point, I'm done fighting. Like, there's no point of going forward. Like, we did everything we could do. We lost our kids that we know of, and it is what it is. And I'm kind of interested. Hopefully, in season 2, we find out where his son went with his boyfriend.
I'm good if we never find out.
Honestly, I'm kind of interested.
To me, I think that was the weak point of the show, was because from what I read in the book, he's a very dynamic and interesting character, but he didn't grab me at all.
Yeah.
I mean, other than he was a good man, he had his own sexual preferences other than who he was married, and Rhaenyra was the same way. But that was, to me, was the only really good quality about him, was that he was just an honorable man. And
I wouldn't be surprised he comes back to fight in their war with season 2. Like they learn about what happened. They learn that I think he will, because he's gonna find out about, technically, his youngest son got killed, and they go to war. He's gonna come back and fight in the war against them.
And he's gonna come back as something, and I don't know how they're gonna get rid of. Like, hey, I thought you were dead. I married my uncle.
Right.
So what? We'll see what happens. But I think it was a strong. It's exactly what HBO needed for this Game of Thrones spinoff to work. And that final episode, man, to myself, I was thinking to myself, okay, I know they're like teenage boys, and during these feudal times, like, they were supposed to do this, like, go out on their own. But why the hell did they not have guards with them? Like, that's a big ass dragon. Like, somebody else could have been with them. Or
why did they go by themselves?
That's what I'm saying. Like, why did what?
Yeah, somebody go with them. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that makes sense.
But dude, Aemon, he said, I want that.
But at the end, you could have easily paused the show at the moment when Aemon looked back and he saw a little vein on his head and put the caption, "At this moment, you knew he fucked up." You could have easily put that at that moment, because he looked back, his eyes, his facial expression, he's like, "What the fuck just happened?" That vein, he's like,
and then Smooth try to blame it on the dragon. Why didn't you listen to me? Why didn't you obey me?
But
your ass was chasing him.
But also too, was it episode 1 or 2, early episode, when Rhaenyra is still young? The king told Rhaenyra, you can't control these dragons. Like, you could do your best to control them, but you can't. And sure enough, it turned around, and then toward the end, when the young Prince Dragon shut fire his ass, that shit started a whole chain reaction.
Yeah.
The motherfucker said, "Fuck that." He's like, that bitch like, "Oh, don't you fire at me? Oh, fuck that." But I ain't gonna lie, one of the coolest moments is when you see Aemon's dragon in the clouds over,
yeah,
and you see the shadow of his wings. You saw how big he was. You like, oh my god, that dragon. Damn, what's the dragon's name? Not Verlax or
Valerion or something like that.
Something like that, yeah. And you saw how big he was compared to the young prince's dragon. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that shit there.
Yeah, dude. I was like, they got out of the storm. They had that Matrix moment. They get out from the machine city.
Yeah.
And they get past the dark clouds, and they're like, oh,
the bright light,
the sun. I'm home free. Fuck them kids. Dude,
right.
I was like,
he looked back, and then all of a sudden, you just saw out of quick, just, and you literally see the last moment. You see the young prince looks at him and ducks, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, so one thing I did not, but I guess you have to go back and watch it, but to freeze frame it, you could see his body dropping. Mm-hmm. I didn't pay attention to that part. Like after he spit him out or whatever, you just see his body dropping. You see you see pieces of the dragon. You see him just falling. I was like, oh shit, like damn, like
Yeah.
like shit, man. You're like,
and then and you know, Eamon's gonna be like, I didn't do anything. I was over there at the Baratheons, and I left. I went home. I don't know. It wasn't me.
right? Or whenever it gets to the point to where for this, Aemon will probably pull a Kevin Hart or this when Kevin Hart talking about, I think when stand up saying hey, man, ask you a question, Aemon, did or Aemon tell
Aegon.
no Aemon tell Rhaenyra, Rhaenyra, your son was he all in one piece? Like
he had both eyes.
Yeah,
right?
let's what you saw. He had both eyes, head, body, right? He did, right? Fuck. All right, fuck. All right. So he did. So you did see him last. All right, fuck. Yeah. He gone. Like yeah.
Listen, he got ate by the dragon.
Yeah, he got ate by the dragon. He got no eyes. He got no eyes, no legs, no arms, no fingers, no head. Like, yeah, he got nothing. I'm sorry.
He's gone.
I'm sorry, Vanessa. Like,
Yeah.
he gone. I'm sorry.
He's chum for the ocean.
Oh, bro. So what? I don't know why this came to mind while watching the show. So I guess it was episode 9. No, I guess it was 10 when Corlys came back and he was talking to Rhaenyra at the table where they had all 7 kingdoms, and they was pretty much putting markers about, hey, these are allies,
like who's loyal and
who's loyal, wherever. I don't know what made me think of this shit. I need someone to do a parody of that particular scene in the Dave Chappelle. I got a coalition of the willing, ready to roll, son. Who are they? Who fuck said that? I got a drift mark. I got what's another kingdom you mentioned?
The Baratheons. I got the Baratheons.
I got the Baratheons ready to drop bombs over the tower.
Bombs over Baghdad.
Like,
you got Staconia.
Exactly. I need someone to take that and use that for the 7 kingdoms.
Oh my god, that would be hilarious.
Like,
that would be absolutely
have Rhaenyra to the podium, and you have all the king's people, whatever. It's about Rhaenyra. Who do you have? Who the fuck said that? Who the fuck said that? Like eggs, dragon eggs. Who the fuck said we got dragon eggs? We cooking dragon eggs. Like, damn, we got dragon eggs. Damn it! Like, get the fuck out of here.
You making bread? Oh man, but yeah, I mean, I think it was a success. It was, we're laughing and having a good time about it. But yeah, it was definitely kind of heartbreaking. It's definitely setting up for sure season 2. And I think the showrunners I think are looking at like between 3 and 5 seasons for this story. So we'll see, because I know that particular book, it's a thick book and there's a lot of detail on time jumps and things like that. So yeah, we'll see. And we're gonna do a quick time check, because last episode we kind of went over a little bit. So okay, we're still good on time a little bit.
Yeah.
So we're good.
Okay, so so the scene where the king was dying, when he was talking to Alicent, not knowing that was Alicent. Okay, that scene when he mentioned the whole
dream,
the fire and ice dream, whatever. Yeah, he's like Aegon's supposed to be king, whatever. And that kind.
Yeah, but he was talking about Aegon's son. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Okay, yeah.
So when Alicent leaves and the king is still talking, but he grabs, he sticks his hand up and he says, "My love," and then it cuts off and dies. I bet you, when he said "my love," he saw his wife.
Yeah. There's different theories out there. So there's that theory. There's a theory that because you'll learn about it in Game of Thrones. There's the old gods and there's the new gods that they worship, like religious, their religions and different things like that. So the Targaryens and the Starks they worship the old gods, and there's the Lord of Light, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the idea is that Aegon the Conqueror, the first Targaryen who united all the realm, right? After their old Valyria sank and all that stuff. But anyways, he's the one that has the dream, and he writes it down. It's been passed on to Targaryen after Targaryen. But the idea is that it wasn't him talking, but it was the Lord of Light, and he's not referencing his son, but I don't want to fucking spoil it.
I'm gonna still. It don't matter.
Okay.
Because by the time you tell me, when I finally watch him before I forget about it, I say, "Oh, this is sheep talking about," kind of deal.
That he's talking about Jon Snow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, because it's about what he's talking about is the Song of Ice and Fire, which is what the Game of Thrones series is based on.
Mm-hmm.
So that's who he's talking about, the one who would be born to unite everybody for a common good.
And that's Jon Snow. Okay.
Jon Snow.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, I can see that. Cool. I was trying to think of another scene that was pretty awesome to see. Man, what was another one? Yeah, a lot. I'm trying to think of going back to the first episode, which was like 10 weeks ago now. Fuck.
Dude, when homeboy Ophites, when he sacrificed his dad and brother,
that was fucked up.
That was
and he just locked them in there, and you could see him look like this, looking like this
with that cane. He got that cane pose.
Yeah, like yeah, bitch, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Got all the feats now,
right? He's like, is there anything else you need? My grace. I didn't tell you to kill him. It is what it is. At this point, it's over and over. And once again, fucking Sir Kristen.
Oh yeah, dude.
I can't. Somebody to kill that bitch.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, he's
like, come on.
I'm thinking to myself, like, really?
Like, bro, once again, I need someone to kill that motherfucker quickly.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I ain't gonna lie, I wish, I get why she didn't do it. It's when Rhaenys or whatever, got her dragon, broke free, from the castle, seeing Aegon as king, and she didn't kill him.
She didn't kill him, yeah.
Like, that was pretty
she
cool.
She should have roasted the ass.
Yes, easily. She could have. And Allison knew that. Allison knew, like, we're done. We're dead. But she's like, nah, I'm gonna let somebody else have my fun. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna just sit back and enjoy it.
She said, I'm gonna show you mercy before you get it.
Yes.
Because or I'm gonna show you mercy now because you're not gonna get it. Yeah. No. It was, yeah.
And I wonder who's gonna be the one, because I know you're gonna have the battle between Daemon and Aemon. Mm-hmm. I wonder who Sir Kristen gonna be going against. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Eric.
There's gonna be.
There's a lot. I wouldn't be surprised if Eric kills his twin brother.
Yeah. Well, this little Targaryen civil war that's gonna happen. There's a lot of battles in between.
Yeah.
So
in between both and within itself.
Yeah. So there's gonna be some room for comeuppance.
Yeah, because I know at some point Rhaenyra is gonna go right after Allison. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna kill this bitch. Let's go ahead and get it done. Let's just go ahead and fight to the death.
Yeah.
Kill this bitch, kind of deal. So,
well, it is what it is at this point. I think, like I said, I think HBO's got another hit on their hands. But in the interest of time, we gotta move on to DC.
For sure.
Interesting news over the last tail end of the week into the weekend was the DCU, which is no longer going to be the DCEU. The DC Universe has two CEOs. James Gunn, which I'm pretty okay with, and Peter, what's his name? Safran.
Yeah.
which I'm also okay with. My only thing is that, and not that I do not like James Gunn. I like James Gunn. I honestly thought that his version of the Suicide Squad was okay. It wasn't as good as everybody I thought, or everybody was making it out to be. Was it entertaining? Absolutely. Was it a saving grace for DC? Yeah, I guess you could say so, money wise, and the fact that it came out on HBO Max and all this other stuff. But I think where it draws the line is like how are you gonna do? Because obviously Suicide Squad was rated R. You're not gonna make Black Adam rated R. You're not gonna make the Man of Steel 2 rated R. You're not gonna do the Batman 2 or the Penguin. Not everything's going to be rated R, so I'm interested to see on how he's going to do it. Now, obviously, everyone's going to say, well, he's done it with Guardians of the Galaxy. I totally get that. But, with his style and the fact that he's got control, I'm very interested to see where he says. I think it's in great hands. My only worry is, for me, the one thing I thought was a little over the top, which was in the Suicide Squad, was just when they get to the secret underground base where they were hiding Starro, and it was raining, and Harley Quinn comes out. It's like all the angels up in heaven are spooching all over us. I'm like, really? I don't want to think about that at all. That was not a good a visual for me, but. I don't know. I'm curious to hear your thought, because you saw Black Adam. I have yet to see it. I'm gonna wait for it to come out on HBO Max in 3 or 4 weeks and go from there. But
I enjoyed Black Adam. The whole news, I wasn't expecting it. For them to pick. For sure. First of all, to have,
and that was really quick because Homeboy stepped down last week or the week before this.
Yes, Walter Amada.
Walter Amada.
Yeah, and so I thought they would have one. I wasn't expecting to have 2 people be co-heads of DC Studios.
I'm a little sad that I didn't get at least a thank you letter for applying.
I know, right?
I was kind of fucked up, but I said, it's James Gunn. I get it.
I know these 2 guys worked together for a long time. I think almost 10 years on movies, on Suicide Squad, and also too. Peacemaker, and as well as other movies and such. I know that you won't see their fingerprints on anything until maybe 5 years from now. I would say.
I don't think so, man. I think it's going to be right now with, and it's no spoiler at this point. But the fact that you have Henry Cavill coming back as Superman, I think that's where it's going to start.
Yeah, but I think that won't be until another 4 or 5 years from now. Like
I don't know, man. I think
Black Adam's already done. Shazam's already done. Flashpoint's already done, which is next year. So by the time these 2 actually put their fingerprints on,
these 3 might be. Well, Black Adam is a success for Warner Brothers right now as far as money wise. But I think starting, obviously, when Black Panther comes out, that's it.
It's gonna be 2025 before they finally do something that's what they call, hey, this is our actual project. This is us. I think.
I don't know, man. I think that if they wait that long, they're never going to get it up and running. They're never going to get to where Marvel is right now. Yeah. I think that they start if it were me.
Of course.
Of course. No, but I think that they need to start right now, because with DC fans and what they've been wanting, because I mean, The Rock, during all his press tour, he kept saying, "Look, I had to keep fighting to do this, to do this, to do this, to do this," because Warner Brothers did it. Okay, well now you got James Gunn that's going to say, "Okay, well tell me about it. What do you want to do? Okay, I like that. Okay, let's do this." And they got to keep going. They can't stop. They can't let down. And I think they got, if not for better or worse, they got to follow the motto that Marvel's doing, because when you have people out there like, oh my God, like DC's coming at it. I said they've really only had 3 really good properties so far.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad, Peacemaker, and the Batman.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's really all they have.
Yeah.
You could say Doom Patrol because that new season is about to start, season 4. So maybe that's going to be good for them this year. And then now Black Adam. So 5 versus Marvel. You have, what do we have this year?
Yes, a lot.
A lot of content. A lot of Phase 4. Regardless of how people feel about Phase 4, but Phase 4 has had a lot of content. A ton of content.
Yeah. So even says right here, like Zaslav, he vows to reshape DC with an ambitious 10-year plan that's going to rival Marvel. Yes, but once again, like I said, when it comes to the movies that's already done, it's going to be out next year and 2 years from now. Like I said, Shazam, Flashpoint, Aquaman, Blue Beetle. That's 4 is already pretty much either done or going to be done real soon to where they can't.
Have they started Aquaman? I haven't heard anything about Aquaman.
Oh, I thought by now they started. I already thought by now they start Aquaman. If they didn't, it's gonna be soon.
Yeah.
But I don't think these two guys are gonna have their hands on it at all because it's already in post production. Everything is started. Like literally, anything they touch, like I said, if it's gonna be Superman, it's gonna be Man of Steel 2.
Oh, yeah.
Which may not happen until literally 2024, 25 production wise.
I don't think so, man. I think at this point,
his tweet.
What's that?
So James Gunn, very first tweet on the job as co-DC was, he has a picture of Superman, a typewriter, as Clark Kent actually, saying, "Gotta restrain myself, or may I absolutely mildly punch these typewriters to twisted wreckage." And you see,
Clark, that's my point. So here they go. He's already, he's ready to rock, and they have to if they want the DCU to be a success on the coattails of the 5 projects. Oh, well, I'd have 6. I forgot DC Super Pets. I don't. Have you seen Super Pets?
Not yet.
It's really good.
Really?
Dude, it's really good. It's really good. So 6 projects, right? Mm-hmm. But again, you could throw Super Pets away because it has nothing to do really with the DCU. Per se, I guess, maybe in some sort of weird way, but so yeah, no, I think they need to strike while the iron. They need to strike while the iron is getting hot. Yes. Not while it's hot, it's getting hot.
Yeah,
and keep it going because if they don't, they're never gonna rival Marvel. No matter how they could say we have a 10-year plan. Well, really, what is it? Because you haven't showed anything about it.
Yeah,
you know, let's go. You got to strike now.
It's just so funny that at one point, not just society, the world turned its back on James Gunn. At one point, and he got the last laugh, no pun intended. But that's crazy. Like all the shit that being fired, so-called from say whatever, and then.
Well, I mean, everybody can have their opinions on that.
It's just the whole everything played out from then to what 2 years, 3 was it 2-3 years now that shit happened to all this shit happening now. Now he's pretty much
at the heat and rise of cancel culture, and no, I definitely agree. Like, and regardless, like I said, everybody has their own taste on what they think is funny. I may not like jokes about pedophilia. That to me, in my personal taste, is not comedy. No matter how funny you think you can make it, to me, it's just not. But I'm also not gonna take away a man's livelihood because I don't agree with what he says. That's not how the system works. And to do that at an age when he was young and and you could say irresponsible or whatever. We all learn, grow, and mature as we age. So, forgive if you want or don't, but move on. Let this man have his livelihood. Listen, hey, if I thought I could do better, I would have applied for the position.
Exactly. And from what it says here, he signed a 4-year contract with DC. So he's now.
So it can't be 2024. It's got to be now. So that by that, if it's a 4-year contract for CEO, it's got to be now. So I would assume he's probably already got ideas, and they probably already approached him for the next Suicide Squad movie. So that's probably what he's eagerly writing about right now.
Or next Peacemaker season 2.
Yeah, Peacemaker season 2. So yeah, they've definitely got they've got a time crunch, and I think that these guys are not going to have a lot of days off, but they definitely need to get these projects rolling in order to make the DCU successful.
Next question: since now he's ahead of DC, is he still going to start? Is he still going to direct things for DC? Is he going to direct, or is he going to be like the one?
I think he'll just executive produce.
So you don't think he'll do no more directing?
If he wants to, I'm sure he can. If he can find the time.
Yeah.
I would think that he would just executive produce and say, this is the outline. You can do whatever you want with that outline, but this is the outline, and this is what we have to do.
Yeah. Here's our sandbox, like Kevin Feige. Here's our sandbox. You put the toys, but stay within the sandbox. Stay with the toys.
Yeah, it's still my sandbox.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I think this is exactly what DCU needs. You know, listen, we would not have any comic books, video games, superhero movies without Superman, who's the granddaddy of them all. And there's a place. Superman is my all-time number one superhero of all time. He's got a place in my heart, like he does. He's probably just as recognizable as Jesus. You know.
Hey, Shush. Hey, Shush.
You know, when you compare, if you put a lineup, you got Jesus, Superman, Spider-Man, Batman. In that lineup, they're gonna recognize everybody, including Jesus. You know, they're just so recognizable. So, you know, I think that there's a place where DCU deserves to be in the pantheon of the greatness that is Marvel. And they need to strike now, and I'm here for it. And I can't wait.
That's 2 more. That right there, Joker 2. That's being outside of the DC universe. That's another one that's going to be James Gunn gonna probably that and the Batman 2.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll have anything to do with that because that's already pretty much done. But the Batman 2 for sure. Oh, for sure. You think I will 100%. Here's my prediction. They dropped the E for a reason. Everything is going to be in the same universe after Flashpoint. So Robert Pattinson's Batman will be in the same universe. We pretty much got the look of the new universe in Black Adam. Hence why you have Superman back. He's got the curl. We got the John Williams score. Yeah. You know, there's no Hans Zimmer. There's no darker color tones than Zack Snyder. And believe me, I loved Man of Steel. I did have an issue with him snapping Zod's neck because, Superman always finds a way. But I understand. I might have an issue with it, but I understand. And he definitely was not your grandfather's Superman, which is the Superman that I grew up with. Yeah. Obviously, I remember seeing Christopher Reeves and getting the cat out of the tree for the little girl, and that was great to see as a kid. But after that, I started reading the comics, and the comics of the late 80s and early 90s through the 2000s, and the Superman animated TV show. Yeah. It was a kick-ass Superman. Like he was fucking busting buildings and doing all that shit. So
he was awesome.
So that was that version of Superman that I was looking to see in Man of Steel. So and that's what we got. But again, it's not for everybody. I totally understand. But good luck.
Right. And Kevin Feige did say at the premiere of Black Panther: Wakanda Forever that he mentioned a reporter asked him from Deadline about the whole James Gunn thing on DC, and he's like, "Hey, he's excited for him. He's happy for him. Yeah. He wants to see anything that James Gunn gonna put out the DC. He's gonna be because he's a comic book guy. Yeah. So pretty much he's gonna be the first one to see it. So
and look, and for the Marvel people that are out there that
and that looks good for Kevin Feige actually.
It looks good.
That looks good for him.
And it looks good for Marvel, and to me it's a motivation for Marvel. It's like, oh shit. They got James Gunn. This guy knows what he's doing. He's obviously had 2 hits. About to be 4 hits. We got the Christmas special and Volume 3 of Guardians of the Galaxy. He's got a hit, 2 hits at DC with Suicide Squad and Peacemaker, and now he's the CEO and is going to be running everything. Oh yeah, it's good. So to me, I would say if I'm Marvel, look, we got to make sure everything going forward is going to be
exactly.
Top-notch. So
and actually, it's just popped up also too when he signed the deal. the first person he told was James Gunn. The first person he told was Kevin Feige. The second was John Cena. Which I guarantee you, once he told John Cena, hey, I have an idea for Peacemaker season 2 already.
He's pretty much had it.
He already had it in the bag, that kind of deal. But yeah, the first person he told about the deal was Kevin Feige. Which again, Kevin Feige was guaranteed was happy for him, real happy. So, and trust me, he's gonna be at the premiere of anything James Gunn did for Marvel. He's gonna be there premiere.
Yep.
Guardian Galaxy 3, he's gonna be at the premiere. If they do anything for the Christmas special for Guardians of the Galaxy, he's gonna be there. So it's that's already been worked out in the back end. That's all been.
It's good. He's good to go.
Yeah. So it's just crazy how that all came.
How it all came out. It's kind of like almost a full circle.
It's pretty much, yes.
It's a backward circle.
Pretty much. He pretty much pulled Superman with backwards around the world. No,
Superman 1?
Yeah, Superman 1, yeah. Ooh.
Dude, I remember like watching that movie, and when he pulls out Lois from the dirt and she's dead, and he does that scream, I was like, oh shit. Like when I was a kid, that kind of scared me. Cause that Christopher Reeve scream was like, go back and watch it and you'd be like, damn, like he fucking screamed, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was a heartfelt, emotional scream. And then he went, and then you can hear Marlon Brando like saying, you can't do that. You can't mess with time. You're not supposed to be. And he said, I don't give a shit, Dad. I gotta save my girl.
Right. Fuck you, Dad. Phew, 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 phew.
And on that note, that concludes another episode of the Pop Culture Pop Culture Radioactive Podcast. And
there you go.
There we go. Tongue-tied. Tongue-tied?
Oh my God.
It's late. We're tired. So that's it. That does it for this episode. And we appreciate you guys joining us. Again, social tags will be in the description. Please like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends. Tell your family. We're gonna keep it going. And we look forward to seeing you guys on the next episode. I'm Jay Rue, the Comic Guru. And this is my counterpart,
Kungfu.
And we out.
Peace.
Man.